And welcome to Inside Oakwood with Dr. Leslie Pollard. It is 8:31 in the Tennessee Valley, and we are here to talk about two very important issues today, Dr. Pollard, and welcome.
Good morning, Donna. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
It's a great Monday to be alive, isn't it?
Yes, it is a great morning to be alive. Now, are you going to give us a word today?
Yes. I was just reflecting and thinking about just a brief devotional thought, the word of the day.
Okay.
So I was sitting in New York City one time on one of my trips, and there I was in LaGuardia Airport.
Okay.
And so it must have been like 6:30 in the morning, and all of a sudden, as I'm sitting there, kind of, reading the newspaper and all those kind of things, going through my internet, going through my internet and all the rest of that, in walks about 6 Cowboys.
Cowboys.
They got Levi's on and boots and cowboy hats.
They kind of bring a certain kind of energy with
them.
Right,
and I'm saying to myself, this is New York City, right? This is New York City. Cowboys in New York. So I said, hey, gentlemen. I said, so they sat right next to me. I said, hey, gentlemen, I didn't know there were cowboys in New York City. And in their southern twangs, they say, probably not. I said, okay. I said, so what brings you out here? He said, oh, no, we're not cowboys. We're with PBR.
PBR.
I say, what's PBR?
Peanut butter
and peanut butter and rice.
Right.
I don't know. He said, no, we're with the Professional Bull Riders Association.
Okay.
Now, I didn't know anything about bull riding, right? But I did know one thing. I had just read earlier in the week. I had read about a bull.
Okay.
So I asked them, I said, do you know? I said, hey, have you guys heard of Bodacious?
Okay.
They said, you know about Bodacious? I said, yeah. So Bodacious was a 2,000-pound Charbray bull, stood about 6 feet tall, and just a notorious bull to ride.
Wow.
Bodacious. That's what they called it.
Ooh.
And so Bodacious had developed a technique. So Bodacious would jump up almost vertically with the rider on its back.
Yeah.
Arch its back and then come down almost like it's diving onto its front legs.
Yeah, okay.
But then once it came down, look, Lewis is shouting. So then when it came down, when he came down like that, then he would whip his head back.
Wow.
Because the rider would be thrown into.
You're right.
And Tough Hedeman, who was the leading bull rider at the time, he did that. And Bodacious broke every bone in his face. And they had to retire Bodacious. It was just too dangerous for the riders.
Wow.
Bodacious, he retired. 2000, in the year 2000, he died. He died, the year 2000.
Okay.
So I thought about something this morning. I said, given all the upheaval of coronavirus and all the rest, sometimes it feels like we're just riding a bull. We don't know where the bull is going. We don't know how it's going to buck. We don't know what turns it's going to take. When you look at bull riding, you see it's the unpredictability of what the bull will do.
Right.
But guess what? We have a bull breaker.
Come on.
And his name is Jesus. And he's ridden many a bull right down into the ground.
Yes.
He's our bull breaker.
That's right.
And so with him, we have nothing to fear.
Nothing
to fear for the future.
Wow.
That's the word of the day. Trust him because he will subdue the things that are bucking you around.
Mercy.
He will manage them. He will bring them into submission, and if need be, he'll retire them.
Oh, my God.
That's right.
So
Praise
that's
God.
our word of the day.
Now.
What a word of the day.
What a word.
Bodacious.
Oh, my goodness. I love that. And I know we've got something to talk about today that makes us want to be bodacious because it's
it makes us want to be bold. Yeah,
you got to be bold, even now, before you get under the grave, right?
Right. So we've got two things, and really, it may seem like these things are not related, but they actually are. They're both about stewardship.
Okay.
One is about the stewardship of what you do with your life and your assets. The other is the stewardship of what you do with your young people, what you do with those children. Every time children are given to us, they're a trust, right? They're a trust, and they grow up into young adults,
right?
And we still have influence over them and that kind of thing. So we've got two of our guests today. One is Mr. Lewis Jones, and Lewis is here. Lewis is the Director of Development and Planned Giving and Trust Services, and just a delight to work with. Loves Oakwood, loves the mission, loves
always
students, and really has an opportunity to do his ministry on both ends of life, coming into Oakwood, and then when brothers and sisters, and that will happen to all of us, when we're at the sunset of our years, and we're making decisions about our legacies.
Right.
So he has the opportunity to
Exactly.
do that. So Lewis does a wonderful job for us. And then we've got another person who does a wonderful job for us, Dr. David Richardson, who is our Vice President for Mission, Enrollment Services, and Retention. And he and his team are putting on a wonderful event that we're going to talk about. It's
Okay.
an Oakwood Showcase, Enrollment Marathon, Believe, Belong, Be Here.
Wow.
And
Love
we're
it.
going public with it.
Well,
we're
all
going
right
really,
now.
really public
All
with
right
it. So,
now.
and he'll
I
talk
can't
about
wait
that.
to hear
But-
about that.
So that's what we're here to do today in our
Wow.
Inside Oakwood. And the purpose of Inside Oakwood, for all those who are listening, is to really give you some insight into how Oakwood, the place we love and serve and all of us have been blessed by, how it actually works,
Right.
how it actually functions. And it's always delightful to talk about these important
And what it
initiatives.
is producing and putting out in
And
the
what it
community and
produces,
in our
right?
community. Yeah,
And
in
what
our
it produces and
world.
puts out there
Amen.
for us.
All right, so we're going to talk to Lewis Jones right now because we want to know. First of all, we talk about planned giving and things like that, and people are thinking about how can they extend their legacy beyond their life, and how do they do that for Oakwood University?
And Donna, may I just ask an additional question related to that one?
Yeah.
I've heard Lewis's presentations before, so I always ask him to share with us
Okay.
the story of those three celebrities
Okay.
for our audience.
Okay, yeah, that's
the
great.
story of those three
Let's start
celebrities
there.
that he talks about.
All right.
Well,
And it answers your question.
Yes,
I
it does.
certainly would like to say thank you, Donna, for inviting me. Thank you, Dr. Pollard,
Of course,
for
of
having
course.
me here today.
Of course.
But the story that I always tell as I travel around the country in various churches and other venues, as I share about planned giving and trust services, is I talk about there are three songs that come to mind. And one of the individuals says, "Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud."
Right.
And we all know that to be
James
Brown.
Yeah, the one
And
and the
then
only James
There's
Brown.
another individual that comes to mind, and he would sing a song, ABC. It's easy, 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
And we know that to be
Michael Jackson.
Jackson.
Right.
And then finally there's the person that comes to mind, and she just simply said, she spelled it out.
Yes.
She said R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
E-C-T.
That's the one. Find out what it
means to me.
All right, and that would be
Aretha
Aretha.
Franklin.
Aretha.
And
Yeah.
so as we think about James Brown, as we think about Michael Jackson, as we think about Aretha Franklin, what did these three individuals have in common? And we think, well, number one, they were entertainers.
Right.
Number two, we think, well, they were African Americans.
Right,
Yes,
right,
yes,
right.
yes.
Number three, we think, oh, well, they are all deceased.
Right.
Right.
But there's something else that they have in common. All three of them died without a will.
Wow.
Wow.
And
Wow.
when you
Wow.
die without a will, they call that intestate.
Mm-hmm.
And so then intestacy laws for the particular state that you reside take over. And they begin to decide what happens to your assets. And so as I travel around the country and I talk with alumni and friends and various groups, I try to encourage everyone, whether you're 19 or 90, have a document in place that will decide what happens to your assets when you are no longer here to decide for them for yourself.
Right.
So
Right.
that really goes a long way, because I'm telling you, particularly in these COVID days, things are happening.
And they're happening quickly.
And they're happening very fast. And so we have to make decisions. We have to pre-plan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So 60% of people die without a will. Or
That is correct.
So what did we do? What are we doing at Oakwood University to help people plan? Are you helping them with their wills as well? Can they contact you about that?
Sure. So, of course, again, in my travels, we do conferences. We go to churches. We speak to small groups and encourage them. I have a little book with me here today called Spiritual Counsels for Estate Planning.
Okay.
And in fact, today, if you will email me at ljones@oakwood.edu, the first 7 people, I like 7 because 7, that's the number of completion. The first 7 people, I'll be happy to send this book out today.
Wow.
Spiritual Counsels for Estate Planning. I just want to read just a small portion, just a half of a sentence here. Listen to what the prophet to the remnant says. Says the great deceiver, go make possessors of land and money drunk with the cares of this life.
Wow.
Present the world before them in its most attractive light, that they may lay up their treasures here and fix their affections upon earthly things. We must do our utmost to prevent those who labor in God's cause from obtaining means to use against us. Keep the money in our own ranks. The more means they obtain, the more they will injure our kingdom by taking from our own subjects. Make them care more about money than for the upbuilding of Christ's kingdom and the spread of the truths we hate. We need them to fear the influence, for we know that every selfish, covetous person will fall under our power and will finally be separated from God's people.
Wow.
And so we like to encourage individuals, leave something for God's work.
Right.
We have to be faithful stewards.
Yes.
You see, this is not ours. I don't own anything. I don't own my car. I don't own my house. I don't own my money in the bank. I don't own my CDs. I don't own my stocks. I am a steward over these things.
Right.
And listen, it's my responsibility not only to take care of my family, but to leave something for God's work.
Exactly. Exactly. And if we don't do that, like what you're saying, that money's going to go somewhere else where we don't want it to
And
go,
God's
right?
going to hold us accountable.
Right.
Even for what he had given to us.
That's right. And it's not that God needs our money. Let me say that. It's not that God needs our money. But guess what? God is trying to teach us self-denial. He's trying to teach us to get rid of selfishness. He's trying to teach us the principles of heaven, generosity, and taking care of the least of these.
Wow.
So as I travel, I try to tell individuals, leave some of your assets for Oakwood University. And guess what?
Yeah.
You will live on in perpetuity.
Yes, that's what we're talking about. So as you go, we're going to transition to our next guest. Tell them again how they can contact you and how folks can think about planning a gift to Oakwood University once they're resting in their grave.
So, again, I can be contacted at ljones@oakwood.edu. My number at Oakwood is 256-726-7586, 256-726-7586. And listen, I'm telling you, if you can't remember my phone number, if you can't remember my email, if you just send up a smoke signal, I'm just telling you, if you will call the switchboard and say, give me that excited man that talks about what to do with your assets while you're living and even after you've gone on, they'll get you to me, Louis Jones at Oakwood University.
Thank you so much, Louis. Thank you for being with us today and sharing that very important information. Now, Dr. Pollard, we got another guest coming in.
We do.
And we got something really
Dr.
big
David Richardson,
that we need
and
to talk
thank you,
about.
Louis. Thank you for the
Thank
work that
you.
you're
having
doing.
me.
And thank you for keeping this paramount for
Yes,
us. Thank you.
amen.
Thank you very much.
All right, so tell us about what we're going to be talking about
my
in
goodness.
a few minutes.
Yeah, Dr. David Richardson is coming in, and Audrey is disinfecting.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
as we
yes.
switch out seats.
Yes.
So that's important. We're practicing all of those protocols. So for all of our friends who are listening by Facebook and YouTube and other places, Dr. David Richardson is going to be here, and we are planning a mega event.
Okay.
Mega. I said
Wow,
mega, not
mega.
mega.
Okay.
I said MEGA, not MAGA. I said we're planning a mega event, and that mega event is going to be an Oakwood Believe, Belong, Be Here
Wow.
Enrollment Marathon. This thing is going to be tremendous. So many students are contacting us saying, I want to get to Oakwood, I want to come. But they're having some challenges.
Right.
Often the challenges are financial, but sometimes the schools are shut down, getting transcripts and all those kinds of things.
Right.
And so we want to make it simple. We want to do a one-stop shop. We're going public with it, using all the social media means, and we want everybody to support us. This is innovative. It's never been done before.
Gosh.
So,
Wow,
those
wow,
of us
wow.
who grew up watching the Jerry Lewis Telethon many, many years ago, that giving my age away, but Jerry Lewis Telethon, often we were able to communicate and contact and connect in ways that we never anticipated.
Right,
So
right.
Dr. Richardson and his team are leading out in this initiative. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning. Good
Welcome,
morning,
welcome,
everybody.
welcome. And he's excited as
Yes,
well.
I am.
He's
Absolutely.
pumped. He
You got
called
to
me
tell us
yesterday.
all
He's
about
pumped.
it. He popped.
He's pumped, man. He's pumped.
Yes,
He's pumped.
really excited about this wonderful
Tell
event.
us about it.
It's a wonderful opportunity for us to engage the community and potential students and parents, those who want to know about Oakwood University. So what we're going to do, we're going to focus for a week. We're going to talk about the Oakwood experience. We're going to showcase our academic quality. All of we have 58 academic programs. So we're going to talk about them. We're going to have some of our deans and chairs on. So we're going to let everyone know about how they can learn more about the program that they're interested in. And then, of course, we're going to talk about affordability, how Oakwood University has the lowest tuition out of all of the institutions in the North American Division in terms of Adventist institutions. But it also is low in terms of tuition for those who are interested in having an affordable experience.
Now,
so we're going to talk about affordability as well.
Okay. Now, this is going to be virtual?
Yes, it is. It is going to be virtual. And so it's going to be, the goal is to have folks watch a little bit, showcase Oakwood, like I shared earlier, and then call in. We're going to have Zoom rooms or Zoom in.
Zoom rooms.
So it's not just call in, but Zoom in. So we're going to have Zoom rooms where academic deans and chairs or faculty members will be there to engage with them, as well as our recruiters, who, if they have information, and admission counselors, if they have information or they want information about Oakwood University, they'll be able to call in. Financial aid, financial literacy, they'll be able to Zoom in, call in, and be a part of those discussions.
Wow.
So it's going to be an incredible event that we're going to talk about Oakwood University and why you should attend Oakwood University in the fall.
Okay.
So it's going to be an incredible opportunity.
That's great. And that's going to be for a whole week, starting when again?
It's starting Sabbath afternoon.
This Saturday.
Yeah, this Sabbath afternoon we start off. Of course, the spiritual focus of Oakwood is always important.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we start right there to say that when you choose Oakwood University, you are actually choosing not only an HBCU, but you're choosing a faith-based experience. That's really important. And we talk about what that looks like beginning on Sabbath afternoon. And then Dr. Richardson has a special Father's Day. But, Doc, I don't want to take your thunder.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Then on Saturday, we got a special tribute in this age when so many Black and brown men are being lost to gun violence and, of course, police violence in some ways. We want to make sure that we celebrate the fathers among us, because that is Father's Day.
Yes,
and Oakwood
it is.
fathers. I mean, like, look at Dr. Richardson. Dr. Richardson represents, what, 3 generations?
3 generations.
Of Oakwood men?
That's right.
3
Graduates.
Can you believe that?
Ooh,
3.
Wow.
So my father was a graduate. I'm a graduate. And my son's a graduate of Oakwood
Wow.
University. So we're going to showcase that and others around the community.
Now, how are you going to do that? Tell us more about that. How are you going to showcase?
Well,
Virtually.
we're going to happen virtually. Everything's going to happen virtually. So once again, it's going to be a part of that whole experience.
Yeah.
Come to Oakwood. Believe, belong, be here.
Yeah, that's our campaign.
Believe, belong, be here. And so it's about featuring the fathers and the graduates of Oakwood University who decided that they were going to not just come to Oakwood, but also encourage their sons to come to Oakwood. Because when we talk about Black Lives Matter, and we think about the Black men who've been impacted, Oakwood University is a safe haven for education and instruction and leadership and mentorship. Oakwood University is that place. And so we're going to talk about what that means to be an Oakwood graduate as a father as well at Oakwood University.
Wow. So
Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing.
It is
Everything
amazing.
is going to be online questions. They can also get to complete
Remember
their...
Alumni Weekend? Remember how we did it virtually?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
This is that.
So, but when they want to actually complete their registration or enrollment, all
right.
of that's going to be
Yes, and they can
for
do
the
that
whole
now.
week.
Absolutely, for the
They
whole
can do
week.
that.
They can do that.
Okay.
They can go online on the website. They can apply to Oakwood University, and so it's going to be the same way, because we'll have recruiters and admission counselors that will help also guide them in this process. Because oftentimes we have questions, right? You can go to the website and you can apply to Oakwood, apply at oakwood.edu.
Yeah.
You can do that already.
Yeah.
But we're going to have people that are going to be available.
Right.
To walk them through the process.
Wow.
We have financial aid questions, and we're going to have acceptances on the spot.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And
Still
so
going to be doing
if
that?
You're
virtually?
if you're interested in coming to Oakwood University,
Wow.
it is not too late.
Wow. Wow.
And so we're gonna for the week we're gonna talk about that, and you'll be able to see what we call the Oakwood experience.
That is exciting. That is really, really exciting.
It's super exciting.
It's
super exciting. It really
Nobody
is.
else is doing that, of course.
Of course not. Oakwood, again, is always breaking new ground. And this is an instance where Oakwood is actually breaking new ground. We're also breaking new ground in our OU Care program.
Okay.
For all of those who are listening, again, to pull financial anxiety out of the clearance process, to reduce loan borrowing by 66%, to guarantee that in 4 years, as a student follows the program, beginning with this freshman class, that students will be able to graduate with anywhere with less than $10,000
Right.
worth of borrowing.
Right.
to see that students can be paid not only $8.50 an hour for their job, for an on-campus job, but that matched with a scholarship of $8.50, which takes it to $17 an hour.
Wow.
It's unprecedented.
Wow.
What an opportunity
That's a lot
for
of money.
first year. Yeah, you might want to
That's
come
good
work.
money.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good money.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go off campus to do it.
Right,
And you
right.
don't have to go away to do it. And you get the internship experience. So that the work study program is being reformed so that where your interests are,
Right.
you get to work in those areas. So it becomes an internship program, not just a work study program.
Right.
I mean, I could go on and on and on. And I know Dr. Richardson and I, we've been going around the country making presentations virtually
Okay.
to
Right.
people. And again, the greatest opportunity in higher education for an affordable Seventh-day Adventist Christian higher education in the HBCU context. Because and you know, and I'm big on the
that's
HBCU
important. That's
part.
important, yeah.
I'm big on the
Yeah.
HBCU part.
Yeah.
And especially now, I'm big on the HBCU part because that part is the part that fortifies students to be able to navigate some of the challenges that we face in our society.
Right,
That part is real, and our connection to the UNCF and all of that. All of those things are very, very important, and God is going to bless us.
Okay. All right, God's going to bless us. We know he's going to bless us. We really appreciate you all really stepping forward and being like the first and everything. I always like that Oakwood University sits here and they say, we thought about this before it even happened.
And I've got
we
something
came
else
up
to
with the-
share. I can't
Yes.
share it now, but we've got an idea
Uh-oh.
that Dr. Pollard and I have been talking about that I cannot wait to come back
And why you
to
going to say
unveil.
that now?
Because
Come on now.
it's in line with what we're talking about as it relates
Okay.
to Black Lives
Remarkable.
Matter. And it's in
okay.
line with what we're talking about in terms of coming to Oakwood University, because at Oakwood, we care about our students.
Right.
We care about the men and women, brown and black.
Yes, yes.
Yes, Black Lives Matter. Okay, so I can't wait to come back to tell you. I'm so tempted, but we got
Yeah,
to
but
work
we-
through the
we-
processes.
We
You see
got
what
to
I'm
get it
saying?
organized.
Yes. But it's exciting. What I'm trying to say is Oakwood is we talk about the first.
Okay.
Oakwood is very innovative in its thought process. We've got an incredible president who cares about students
Right.
and wants to make a difference in his community. And you got faculty and staff who are committed to this. And so and students. I mean, Oakwood has the best students in the nation.
Yes,
You hear what I'm
yes,
saying to you?
absolutely,
Oakwood has the
absolutely.
best students in the nation. Oakwood is the place to be.
Right.
Okay, and one of the things we want to keep in mind, especially for some of our listeners and our viewers who are calling in, they may be wondering, how will we get to promote this information?
Okay.
So contact your conference president. We've given them all of this information that we're talking about here. Now, the OU Cares, on the OU Cares program,
Okay.
we are getting the digital information out for those, and this is a dear friend of mine from New York who's asking this question. So we're getting all of the information out today in a digital flyer. So just go to the Oakwood website.
Okay.
We're going to have information, dates and times and events and all those kinds of things. And then as you call in, there will be breakout rooms for questions and for all of the things, because this is a process. We
Right.
understand. Those of
Right.
us who have sent children to college know that it's a process. We believe that this is the best time in the world to choose Oakwood.
Yeah.
Given the state of this country, to be in an environment where, as Dr. Richardson mentioned, they are safe, they're protected, and they're developed and matured. You know, they come in, I often tease them. Sometimes I look at them when they're seniors, and I remember when they were like
Came
just
in,
little
yeah.
children
Yeah,
coming
coming
onto
in.
campus.
Yes,
And a
yes.
high schooler is very vulnerable. I tell people, the first year student is not a college student. It's a high school student on a university campus.
Yeah. I
That's
agree.
really what we
Yes,
got here.
Yes.
So you want people who are going to reach out and take care of your prized possession.
Exactly.
Because they're not college students yet. They're just high schoolers on a university campus.
Right,
That
right.
first year.
I get
And
that,
that first year experience, our team works on that to make sure that that's impactful and formative for our students. I mean, this is a great time. So this January, what dates? I say January.
June.
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 Well, we're starting school August 5th. So in terms
okay,
of our
August
orientation,
5th.
right?
Okay.
In terms of orientation, first year students, right? New
Okay.
students, orientation. And then school starts August 10th, right?
Okay.
But this event that you're talking about, that we talked about happening right now, which is this Enrollment Marathon event where
Yes.
you can be a part of, starts on June 20th, which is on Sabbath, right? On this Saturday, on this Sabbath, We're having an incredible program. It's going to start at 6 o'clock in the evening.
Okay.
And so, because of course we support our churches and we want you to
the
be engaged in that
churches,
way.
right, absolutely,
We support them.
absolutely.
But our program is coming after that, and
Okay.
it's going to be an incredible opportunity to get engaged and to get information about Oakwood University. And then, of course, that Sunday, which is Father's Day.
Yeah.
The president talked about that. We're excited about that because we're going to showcase some of our Oakwood graduates, our fathers who've impacted their community and the lives of their family, and the legacies that they have created at Oakwood University. So an incredible opportunity. And then throughout the week.
Yeah, throughout the week, gonna be
throughout
the
the
different
week,
rooms,
it'll be at
Zoom
6
rooms
o'clock
and stuff.
every evening throughout. We'll be consistent. So you'll know the time to join us.
Okay.
Every evening at 6 o'clock. We're going to be very focused. We're going to be very pointed. You'll be able to, once again, we'll showcase Oakwood University, our academic programs. We'll talk about affordability, and then we'll go into the Zoom room for the last hour,
Wow,
right?
that's nice.
Where you can get information. You can be connected with recruiters. You can be connected with deans or chairs or any staff members or myself. If you need to talk to me,
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be
Absolutely.
there as well.
Yes.
And I'll be available to answer questions as well.
What? Dr.
All the
Pollard?
time, all the time. I call families and talk to them. I believe this. I'm firmly convinced that Oakwood is the place. God created this institution. I believe that. I see that, and I experience that. And when I came here as a student, I experienced that as well. And we're inviting many, many others to experience it.
Right.
Now, to show how committed Oakwood is, we're going to have a COVID-supportive graduation on August 1st.
Okay.
Our committee just recommended it, our graduation committee, so we've accepted it. Going to do it at Von Braun Civic Center, 8 o'clock, August 1st. I think that's Saturday night.
August 1st?
I think Saturday night is August 1st.
It's got to be.
Sorry. So August 1st, and everyone is well, we can't invite everybody. We're laying out the parameters for this event because it's really important that we observe those safety protocols for family and everyone.
All right.
We don't want to do an event and have a catastrophic outcome while
Right.
we're celebrating.
Right.
But that's what we voted. That's what we're going to do, and Von Braun will work with us on making sure that happens. This cannot be. It probably you'll hear more details about it. It probably won't be like anything we've ever seen before because of the social distancing requirements.
Right.
But it'll be a celebration of the class of 2020. That's what it'll be.
Wow. So when one last thing, school is coming, and students are
Yes.
coming back. So
Yes.
have we put out any information on how that's going to happen as far
Yes,
as the social
we will be
distancing
putting
and
that out this
everything?
week.
So people,
Yeah. We've
Okay.
got some actions. We've got some hygienic companies that we're
Okay.
working with and all those kinds of things.
So
to make
everybody
sure
can
that,
get all that information before they come.
Oh,
right?
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
They must have that information before they come.
Yes, yes.
And of course, and then we're going to give sufficient information. I need to say that we're going to give sufficient information.
Okay.
Because the reason you elect administrators is to make those decisions.
Okay.
And to make sure that the information is adequate, that the campus is safe, that the environment is protected, that we're
Right.
observing the COVID protocols and those kinds of things. That's really, really important
Right,
because we
right.
care about what happens with our students.
Yes.
The focus is on what happens with our students, what happens with our faculty, what happens with our staff, what happens with our members. All of those things are important, and you will get adequate information in order to make a really intelligent and informed decision.
All right, now we are getting high. We're going into this really like with our feet on the ground, running really fast right now.
Absolutely.
And I want to remind our listeners that today is the deadline for that stimulus or for applying for that grant for stimulus.
You're pretty
as well.
smart, aren't you?
I just
You remembered all of
I
that.
just
We did that.
remembered. It's
We
today.
submitted our application. We
Yeah.
submitted our application on Friday.
Okay. What?
We did, yeah, for the yeah. We don't play. We
right.
we did that. Yeah, we did it
Yes,
Friday and got
okay.
it all in. And any other things that we need to submit for, we're certainly doing that. And then next on this coming Thursday, right?
yeah,
On
what do we got?
Thursday, we've got a special guest again, as we've had special guests today, Dr. David Williams.
Okay.
Dr. Williams is a member of our board of trustees, but he's also one of the leading scholars on health disparities and issues around race, ethnicity, and inclusion. In one year, 2018, Dr. Williams was the most quoted Black scholar in all of America.
Wow.
So we're so proud of him.
Yes.
Very committed. Sent his children to Oakwood. He's now at Harvard, chair of the sociology program.
Wow.
And just an outstanding representative of what Christian Seventh-day Adventist education can produce.
Wow.
So he'll be our guest on.
Thursday.
Tune in at Thursday at 8:30, and he'll be talking about health disparities. And if you want to read something interesting, go to YouTube, and there Dr. Williams has a TED Talk called "Is Racism Making Us Sick?" Is racism making us sick? It's worth watching before you tune in. Then you can ask him questions about it.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Pollard, for being with us for Inside Oakwood University with your special guest. We appreciate all of you being here. Y'all join us next time for Inside Oakwood on Thursday at 8:30. We'll see you there.